in the African Global Competitiveness Competitiveness Initiative report of US Agency for International Development, you said in 2009, the best practices in determining export readiness were introduced. This report reviews different standards, processes, and frameworks used in investigating how a business becomes an export-oriented organization based on technical assistance received from USAID and determine what it considered to be best practice. During the study, inputs were received from managers from different enterprise and development projects in sub-Saharan Africa. This report finally presented the factors that are critical for success when assessing and determining if a business is ready for the export market. They highlighted the important factors in determining export readiness of a business, and this includes: 1, preparation for exportation, which involves participation in export training program and international trade show. One of the evidence of readiness for export is attending training programs and trade show. Number 2 is proven business model, which involve review of the success of the business in the local market. Okay. Number 3 is the export experience, which has to do with fulfilling orders from abroad. Number 4 is the health of the business, and this examines the number of staff and the years in doing business. Number 5 is export budget, which involves if and what the company has budgeted to finance export. Number 6, strategic vision and export strategy. Examine if the company has strategic vision or plan for its export business. Does it have a strategic vision and plan for its export business? Number 7 is the human resources, which involve having dedicated staff for export. Number 8 is the competitive edge, that examines the adaptability of the product and what is unique about the product being exported. Now, number 9 is the production capacity, which has to do with whether the business have enough capacity to meet new demand and has what it takes to expand in order to accommodate new demands. Other characteristics of the business that is being evaluated in this USAID report for export readiness include certification, which has to do with having the relevant international certification to meet regulatory requirements; product quality, which involves product quality control and certificate specification with packaging, labeling, and management expertise, which involve management interest and commitment of resources; finance, which has to do with whether the business has enough financial strength to carry the burden of export business; marketing, which examines the export marketing strategy and market entry option available to the business; efficient transportation, which examines if the business can deliver products on time and still be profitable; and speed to the market, which involves how quickly the business can respond to meet the demand in the export market. Now, you know, I've been in this sector since 2006, outside banking 2010, but with banking from 2006, I realized that a number of organizations have come into export. Many of them have not been able to continue. I've been monitoring exports from Nigeria since 2006 till date. Do you know that over 1,000 businesses register for export every year, getting export license from the government agency saddled with that responsibility, but less than 800, max 800 export every year in the last 16, 17 years. But over 1,000 register every year, but only only 800, sometimes 700 companies exported every year. Why? A number of these businesses come in and eventually fall out. Here are some of the signs and symptoms of lack of readiness of a business for export. Delay, constant delay, incessant delay in your transaction is a sign of lack of readiness. Demurrage. Demurrage is the fee paid for the usage of container beyond the free period while the container is in the custody of the shipping line. Constant demurrage on shipment is a sign of lack of export readiness. Discrepancy in documentation is a sign of lack of export readiness. Debt is a sign, that's losses, constant losses, no occasional losses because are constant beyond human control. It's a sign of lack of export readiness. Dropout, a number of people come in, but they drop out. They drop out in the sense that they are no longer interested. They lost money, they could no longer continue for one reason or the other. Dropout is a sign of lack of export readiness. Death of knowledge, ignorance, no understanding documentation, no understanding the process. Ignorance, death of knowledge is a sign of lack of export readiness. Constantly having defectiveness in goods being shipped is a sign of lack of export readiness. Delays, demurrage, discrepancies, debt, dropout, death of knowledge, and defective goods are all signs of lack of export readiness. Having reviewed a number of literature on how to evaluate readiness of business for export or internationalization, here is a report that collates what is called the 15 P's of export readiness criteria. These 15 P's have been divided into 4 categories. Some of the P's are related to the company characteristics. Some of the P's are related to the capacity of the business. Some of the P's are related to the country of import. Some of the P's are related to the companion at destination. Here is the 15 P's of export readiness evaluation. Promoter, the owner of the business must be willing, ready, and able. Product, the product must be of high quality, well packaged, and well labeled. Pricing, the product must be well priced. The product must be well priced. The pricing must be competitive. Predisposition, the staff must have international orientation and predispose to export business. Training in export business, understanding the peculiarity of export business. I was on a mentoring session with some businesses yesterday evening, and I was telling them a story of how lack of predisposition of staff to export business can mess up your business. There's a shea butter that was shipped by a company from Nigeria, and the shea butter was not well sieved. And because the shea butter was not well sieved, there were sedimented particles at the lower part of the item that was shipped. Locally, that would not have been a big deal. They can scrape it and use it, but the buyer rejected it in the US. After the predisposition purpose, that's the vision, the motivation, the goal, the interest, what is driving you? Why do you want to go global? Promotion. The business must understand how to promote its product in the export market. Proficiency. The staff and the owner of the business must be skilled in managing all the logistics, supply chain management, step-by-step process, and involved in export transaction. Production. It must have the right production capacity to meet demand, or the right collaboration to be able to meet demand. Payment. Payment has to do with funding and payment of local suppliers. Being able to raise funds to pay local supplier, and being able to get payment from abroad. Positioning, that's talking about the success of the business, even in the local market, the pedigree of the business, the market share of the business in the local market. Country, the people. Who are the people? What do they buy? Who determine what they buy? How do they buy? Where do they buy? When do they buy? Which option do they buy? Paperwork, documentation for importation in the exports market, and potential, the demand and the opportunities available and where they are available in the export market. Partnership, having a rep at destination who will work with you to ensure you get buyers and get paid, and then purchasers, that's the distributors and agents, wholesalers who will distribute the product at destination. This is an expanded version. The promoter and the owner, the promoter needs experience in exportation, understand export process, ready to commit resources, and have export skill and competence. The product is the item of export. Quality specification, unique characteristics, suitable packaging and labeling, and the level of sophistication involved in the product. Pricing, the cost of goods, local raw materials, economy of scale, low freight costs, low raw material cost. Predisposition, the staff foreign exposures. Have they worked abroad or school abroad? Do they speak a foreign language? Have they attended export training? Do they have any knowledge of export market? Purpose, reason for export, desire to go global, government incentive, survival strategy, generation of foreign exchange, payment, funding and getting paid, ability to get funding, asset for collateral, ability to secure payment from abroad, managing the risk of not getting paid. Production, meeting market demand, excess or idle capacity, contract manufacturing, readily available stock, and being able to handle demand surge. Proficiency, skill, and competence in export business management. Identify and manage risk in export, handle export dynamics, handle trade instrument, and research and development for market demand. Then promotion, increasing awareness about the product, capacity to attend foreign trade mission, access to market intelligence, understanding market segment, and being able to reach the customer. Positioning, goodwill and heritage, high local market share, unsolicited orders from abroad, established in the local market, and indirect partners abroad. How about the country? Talking about potential, paperwork, and people. Potential, the market opportunity. Do you know the global market size? Do you know the global market location? Do you know where you have high demand and market trend? And do you know the ready buyers in the export market? And then documentation, being able to handle pre and post export document, pre and post import document, reviewing of document, processing document, and of course, avoiding discrepancies. And then consumer, the demography of the consumer, psychography on the consumer, geographic location, and of course, behavioral. Then purchasers, agent and distributor, knowing the right entry strategy, understand distribution option, access to wholesalers, handle distribution challenge, and then service provider partnership, access to legal services or sales rep, set up a joint venture, and access to other consultants. The idea here basically is saying that, look, if a business is going to survive the export market, it must be ready for the export market. And assessing the readiness is so important to be able to have a successful and sustainable export business. The reason why many businesses start and are unable to continue is because of lack of export readiness. In entering the market, a business has three options. It can have a representative who earn a commission, or set up a subsidiary through a joint venture with a partner in the export market, or set up a sole representative branch in that market. The beauty of this is that when you have a rep or a subsidiary or a branch, you can use any payment method. Even though your cost will be more, but you are also able to have marketers who will constantly sell. The growth potential is high, even though you have more fixed asset cost, but you have control over the market. You can easily recover debt. You can easily do umpire inspection, and you can use any method of payment at the destination. The idea here is this, and I've emphasized this severally, that a business that will be successful and sustainable in the export market must of necessity have a partner, a rep, someone that is working with him beyond the distributors and the buyers in the export market. If that is not done, it becomes very tough and difficult to resolve issues that might happen to the business in the export market. To even arrange umpire inspection where required in the export market.